I'm
Rah!
angry about cats.
When did we all get this dumb? Warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about cats.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef. Come on, man. Use your brain. The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now. All right. This is the Why I'm Angry podcast. I got Jay Boots here in the studio, or out of the studio in the studio, here in the Freestyle Man Cave studio. And this is the Why I'm Angry podcast, where we channel our frustration into thought-provoking decisions or discussions, where we are coming to you live from the Freestyle Man Cave studio on X, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, and anywhere you get your podcasts. Seems like I forgot one, but it doesn't. I don't think so. We're all also on like Amazon and Spotify. Your support means the world to us, and there's never been a better time to give and support us. We actually just
That's true.
We need some support. Yep, and your support basically goes straight to, advertising, getting the word out more. It goes to the equipment that we use here in the podcasting studio. We have some great equipment, but it's not state of the art. We do piece a lot of stuff together, and we got our fingers in the dam, making sure that nothing falls through. So your support goes to that, and the way you can give is on our website. We have a couple different support levels. Yep. Jay Boots is in the Netherlands. And if you get on our website, we have a couple different support levels. One's our Angry Patriot. It's our standard. Right now, if you put in Angry Patriot in the code for $1.25 a month, you get ad-free podcasting, and you get we'll send out a kind of an email with all of this stuff going on. We'll send out some sales and stuff like that for our merch. We'll just hook you up. For about $2.50, which seems like a minuscule amount more, you get the whole caboodle. No kittens, but just the caboodle. Ooh. And, we give you the videos that you don't see until we can't get on. So like last week's podcast, there was no video for it. We didn't go live. I have that video. It's on the website. So, jump on, check out that stuff. I think right now I've got a 7-day free trial if you sign up for a $2.50 subscription. And then also, if you just want to hand us out some dollars, we do have a $1 subscription that you can put in, 5 of those, and it's just giving us some money to help us out, support the cause. Get out some good word. There are other Christian current event podcasts out there. I understand that, but I think we give a little different account of things, and we try to keep it a little bit light. We don't take ourselves too seriously. So that being
I
said,
never have.
Seriously, if you can't give some money, we understand also. And the easiest way to support us is to follow, like, or share.
Yes.
The easiest way to get a t-shirt, though, is to give us a 5 or a 1-star review. If you give us a 1-star review and you really don't like us, make sure that you are at least funny about not liking us. We'll send you a t-shirt if you win the raffle, and you can support us in your local area. And while you're not liking us. So we're okay with that too.
Yeah.
So
that's how I live my life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just as excited to get a 1-star review as I am to see the 5-star reviews come in.
Have you ever burned your mouth on 800-degree pizza?
I have not, but I did burn my fingers today on a potato pancake.
That stinks.
Yeah, I flipped it and the grease popped up and splashed up on my hand, and so I burnt in between my fingers. If it had been
Oh, I
on my
hate that.
finger, it wouldn't have burnt. If it had been anywhere else, you just can't train your in between fingers to not be burnt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
So we're the Burn twins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right here.
That makes sense.
Right here.
Right, yeah.
I put a piping hot pizza right here, right out of the oven.
800-degree oven, huh? That's one heck of an oven.
I might have just made that number up.
That may have been just what I felt like it was.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, if you, if that's how you feel like that's the feeling you have. That's you feel like that your oven should be a 900-degree oven. Then obviously it is, because no one can tell you it's not.
Correct.
Right. So if you subscribe
Freedom.
to the boil or burn lava oven, go for it.
That's my American right.
It is. Don't let anyone change that. So I guess we're ready to get into this. We've fumbled around enough.
Can we talk about bridges?
Bridges. We're definitely gonna get into some bridges. I got one for you to buy.
I got a very nice bridge
in Brooklyn Bridge. I gotta find my notes here. I lost my notes behind a bunch of screens. Or maybe I don't have notes. Okay. Yeah, so the bridge collapsed on Tuesday. Hit by a 9-mile-an-hour, 100,000 pound, or was it 100,000 tons? Because that would be like a couple million pounds. Yeah, it's got to be 100,000 pounds. It can't be tons. So 100,000 pounds. I'm still fumbling to try to find my notes here. So, barge. Yeah, 100,000 ton freight. Lost power, possibly due to clogged engine filters from tainted fuel.
Woo!
And drifted roughly 9 miles per hour into a bridge support column. Which then, if you have been living under a rock, then collapsed the bridge fairly handedly. They did say today in the update that they did recover 2 bodies.
Yes.
Of migrant workers. I don't know why it matters what kind of workers they were, but they were filling potholes on the Baltimore Key Bridge. It's also not just the Key Bridge; it's the Francis Scott Key Bridge. So at least this way, we're reminding ourselves of the man who wrote the Star Spangled Banner, so that we could kneel to it.
Okay.
But anyhow, that's for another day. The bridge, called the Francis Scott Key Bridge, the FSK Bridge, since we like the MLK stuff and things like that. It collapsed with 4 others still missing. The 2 were found about 25 feet down in a truck. So they are diving already. They're searching and everything. The investigation has started. Jay, Boots, is this an attack?
Well, first, I'd like to say that it's my third favorite bridge.
Third, okay. So we got to get to what's number one?
My first favorite bridge is the Silver Memorial Bridge off of State Route 35 in Ohio, going down into West Virginia, because of the folklore that surrounds it.
Okay,
There's apparently some sort of boogeyman that lives down there.
probably it's near West Virginia.
So obviously that's number one, and then obviously
Right.
the Scott Key is number three. So I can't tell you about number two. It's classified.
I was to say, what one's number two? You got it. You got to give us number two.
Okay,
You can't leave us.
I'll tell you number two on the next episode. Stay tuned, folks.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger. No,
Okay.
yeah.
So
No,
third
I don't
favorite
think
bridge has been blown up.
my third favorite. Yeah, it's kind of sad. But we didn't sink the boat, so it wasn't a total loss.
We didn't sink the boat because we were supposed to attack this boat and sink it, or we didn't sink the boat because it didn't sink after smashing the bridge down.
Well, at 9 miles per hour or whatever that is in knots, I mean, that's not that fast.
3,
Yeah, so,
roughly. Yeah,
So-
it's about 3 miles an hour per knot.
But like, where were the tugboats? I mean, they said that they called off the tugboats.
Who called off the tugboats? The boat that was roughly going 9 miles an hour and
I think
into
it
the
was
pillar. Or
I think it's standard practice to have a tugboat guide you in and out of the harbor.
It might be. I actually don't know the maritime law on that.
So and then so they lost power once, and then the power came back, but then they lost power again, and then some of the other folks noticed there was an explosion on the other end of the bridge that was not where the boat was, because I guess this bridge was at least this section of the bridge was a mile long.
Yeah. Because is it the bridge that goes kind of under the tunnel, up above and stuff like that, or is it just like, or the section between the pillars was a mile long?
Yeah, there's sections of it. So the part where you go under, all the boats go under, was a mile long. So
okay.
I don't think this is an attack, but I haven't heard from Hillary Clinton either. So we're going to have to ask her.
You're thinking maybe one of these migrant workers were on the Hillary Clinton death squad?
List? They might have been part of the Clinton Foundation.
So we're just, so the Clintons are just, tying up loose ends again?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, stranger things have happened, I think.
Now, I heard a rumor that the boats themselves, even if they lose power, they still have the option to steer. They still have a way of steering.
Well, yeah, they still have a rudder. Most of them are mechanical.
Yes.
It's kind of like power steering. You lost your power steering, you can still steer your tires.
I mean, so all the videos I've seen it's all time elapsed where it's sped up, so you're kind of watching it in super speed. So because if you watch the ship in real time, it's like, oh my gosh, this is dreadfully boring until it goes kaboom.
Well, I mean, it's not a horse race, It's not.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like, look, they're listing Leasley to the left.
My wife was saying was catching me up on some of the conspiracies because I've been buried under church media development this week, and she's like, "Do you think it was an attack?" And I was like, "What? How were we attacked this time?" She's like, "The bridge," and I was like, "Oh, Oh, I don't have a clue. And she's like, you haven't watched the news at all? And I'm like, I know this is crazy. I've been living under a rock for 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was a bridge attack, but
Yeah.
I didn't see much past it. I saw cars that went in there. It says they had 90 seconds to clear the bridge.
Yeah.
You know, there's, Mayday signal from the ship. You would think, that it would have known or lost power way earlier, or that you would have, like you said, there would have been a tugboat, or if it was having issues, they would have said, hey, we're having issues.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Where were the safety procedures at?
yeah. Yeah.
But
But,
we'll
with
never
the,
know.
with the administration we have, and they've got, the Houthis are attacking our boats in the Mediterranean, and we're not doing anything there. So maybe we don't care about boats anymore.
That's
Maybe
pretty strong language.
boats are similar to trains and are antiquated equipment, and we just don't care.
How are we going to get stuff from Europe to here? How is my Amazon stuff going to get here?
There are airplanes,
No.
which are not antiquated equipment. They're the future. You may not know this.
Earhart crashed.
Did she?
Yeah.
Or was she just picked up by aliens and spiraled into the universe, never to be found again?
Yeah, I hope she's living on some sort of other planet, thriving.
Maybe she got on that rocket that went to the moon.
I just made it up. I don't believe that at all.
that she's on another planet driving. Yeah, I don't think she got picked up by alien, like reached up, snatched her by aliens. I mean, she wrecked because there was some magnetic impulse problem with her ship or with her boat, or with her airplane.
Yeah.
And she couldn't figure out her gauges and didn't have gas or something. There are millions of miles, at least. There are a lot of miles in the ocean.
At least 4.
At least. So if you only got 3 miles left on your tank, 4 is too much.
Yeah.
So,
man, I don't know, man.
yeah,
it's crazy.
And like back then they were flying without a lot of extra help. A lot of stuff was, they had some hydraulics for the rudders and things but gauge wise, it's not like today where you got like a GPS setup and you're like, woohoo, I just set this and forget it until I get there, and then I drop it down and put it on the runway. I know it's a lot harder than that. My wife works in the travel industry, so I understand that it's more than just that. But there wasn't even the helps that we have today. So
yep.
Yeah.
So trains, yep. Trains are out. Boats are out.
Trains are out. Boats are out now.
Airplanes are in.
Airplanes are it.
So
it's the only way to travel.
Is it safe to say that space shuttle will be the new common way to travel?
Very soon. Yeah, we'll all go up in a spaceship and we'll just right down on top of wherever we're going. We'll get into orbit for 10 minutes or whatever, and then we'll be there.
I like it.
Because the Earth's spinning, so we'll just catch the Earth on the next thing.
Yeah, you go up as the Earth's spinning. You go up, and then you come right back down.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like a dartboard type thing. You just.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Amazon has put $4 billion into a startup. They added another $2.75 billion of its investment into Anthropic. I haven't practiced saying that and still messed it up.
What is Anthropic?
Anthropic is basically the competition to ChatGPT to OpenAI.
Gotcha.
Basically, it's founded by former OpenAI employees. So there's no like sign stealing in that. But anyhow, they opened new chat called Claude. They're up to Claude 3,
Wow.
which they say can outperform ChatGPT 4. I mean, they would say that. But yeah, so
Jerks.
working with Amazon doesn't look like it's going to be open to anybody like that isn't part of Amazon's cloud-based computing software setup thing anytime soon. But yeah, they said they opened it to seek to create AI aligned with human values. Anthropic.
What are human values?
It's the freedom to be free. That's our human values anymore.
Hmm.
But the barriers that your freedom doesn't spill onto other people's freedom and then, somehow hold them back.
So I can be more free than another person.
It's freedom through oppression, really.
I like it. Where do you get that at?
Claude 3.
No.
Oh, man.
I thought that was more of an Amazon thing.
It's only on Amazon. I mean, it is definitely held up by Amazon. So, Trump Media and Technology Group, the owner of former President Donald Trump's Truth Social platform, climbed as much as 59% yesterday.
Wow.
2 days ago, as it went public.
He's more rich.
Who's got it better than us?
Trump does.
Trump does. $77 per share before setting closing up 16%. Too bad we didn't all put some money into that. It's ended up at $58 a share, but that was still up 16% for the day. That values the company at $8 billion.
B with a B, folks. A bumblebee.
With a B. So nothing like starting a your own, social media company, and 4 years later, or 3.5 years later, being worth $8 billion. No problems.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
The AI people are only worth $4 billion.
Ha! Take that.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton reached a deal yesterday with prosecutors to resolve criminal securities fraud charges, ending a year-long saga weeks before his trial was set to begin. Lucky him. Paxton maintains his innocence. 2021, Paxton, then a state representative, was accused of recruiting two people to invest in Texas-based computer server company Servergy. It doesn't seem very creative, original, naming your server company Servergy. But whatever. Yeah. Without disclosing to them his role as a paid advisor. Oh, okay. Servergy's CEO was later found guilty of misleading investors. Oh, so basically he's going down with the ship, including through claims it secured Amazon as a client. Now Paxton has agreed to pay $271,000 to two investors he recruited.
Oh.
It seems pretty light, but whatever.
Yeah, I think he's getting away with something.
I think he got off easy. Yeah, Paxton had faced the possibility of 99 years in prison and the loss of his legal license. Now he just pays $271K. Do
That's
they
not
take
bad.
a check? do they take checks? Because
Maybe not a personal check.
maybe they take a personal check. Yeah. Robert Kennedy Jr. announced that San Francisco's attorney and Democratic donor Nicole Shanahan as his vice presidential pick
Oh,
in his third party bid for presidency. Shanahan.
good old Irish name there.
Yeah. The Kennedy Shanahan 2024.
I bet you that's going to look really good on paper.
Yeah. Or in a bar fight.
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine? I don't know that I would want to take the San Francisco attorney, a San Francisco anybody into a bar fight. I can't see that.
Why?
I mean, her name is Shanahan, but really. Oh, yeah. So it's opening day.
Yeah, go sport.
Go sport. Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
So yeah, opening day. I feel led to just get it out there. The Tigers won.
Yeah, they did.
That's it. 1-0. It was kind of a futile win, but 1-0. They scored in the third inning, and they had 6 hits. The White Sox were just a little less and had 3 hits, and scored 0. So the White Sox are going to be good this year.
Yeah. Yep.
In other area sports, the Reds won. How many times are we going to get to say that this year?
Well,
What are you thinking? You thinking plus 80 or minus 80?
Minus.
You're thinking minus? I would have taken the plus. I bet they do okay this year. They're a young team.
Yeah.
They got rid of Joey Votto.
Yep.
So he's playing.
He was holding them back.
He's playing the Canuck League. Playing with the Blue Jays now.
Yep. I saw that.
Blue Jays won 8-2. Yankees 5-4 over the Astros. Padres won 6-4 over the Giants.
How did LA do?
Which LA? The Dodgers, the Angels, is it LA Angels now? Is it California Angels? Is it Anaheim?
I thought it was
Angels?
Anaheim.
I don't think it is anymore. It is Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, wow.
I win. Ding.
So how did Mike Trout do?
Angels lost to Baltimore, who were not sad about their bridge enough to postpone the game at home, and they won 11-3. Mike Trout was 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI, with his single hit being a homer.
Okay. Gotta like Mike Trout.
Yep. But he didn't have anybody else on the team to do anything, so yeah. They really don't have too much going on. Anthony Rendon And
They
yeah.
need that guy from the 80s.
Well, it would have been nice if they had been able to keep Otani, but it looks like he might have been betting on baseball.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Otani. So this week it's been, or maybe last week. I think it was the beginning of end of last week. Otani comes out and fires his translator. Says his translator's been stealing $1 million from him over the
Okay.
last so many years.
Okay.
Come to find out, there's a bookie involved, and the translator's been paying this bookie and making bets and has lost like $1 million in bets. How does a guy, though, that only makes a couple $100,000 a year as a translator for a Major League Baseball player from China get $1 million in betting money?
Yeah. Right. Where did that spring up from?
Yeah, like, so the story is that Otani's been giving him money to make the bets, and then somebody's come through and has looked up some of the bets where they correspond, and it kind of looked like, or they said they could show where Otani may have thrown some baseball games.
Really?
Yeah, it would surprise me,
That is
but
surprising.
you never know.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah. So Otani went 2 for 3 with a run scored and a walk. But and the Dodgers won 7-1
Right. I
over
assumed.
the Cardinals.
Gotcha.
Cubs are up 1-0 on the Rangers in the fourth.
I could be a Cubs fan.
I've kind of dabbled with being a National League Cubs fan. I was there when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were hitting, where they were right around the, like, I think it was 57, 58
Mm-hmm.
in that range.
Before the roids.
Yeah. Well, no, that was during the roids.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was during the Androstine for Mark McGwire, and then Sammy Sosa kind of later popped for steroids. So you think probably during that time that he all of a sudden started hitting 50 to 70 home runs a year.
Yeah.
That maybe that could have been a factor.
Right. That was the thing.
I mean, I don't know if it really contributed to his overall whiteness, but it did contribute to the home runs, probably.
Yeah. I remember going to Reds games as a teenager thinking, why aren't these guys doing the roids?
Why don't these guys do something? Because they need it. They really do need it. I did go to a Reds game when I was in my teens or late teens, and saw Sammy Sosa play in the at the Reds Stadium. So we were the few out in the right field rooting for Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, so. I was a huge as a kid. I was a huge Barry Larkin fan. Like that made my
Barry
day.
Larkin is he's a boss.
Yeah, he was. It made my day seeing that guy play.
That's a Michigan man right there. That's a Michigan man. Not too many people remember that.
Yeah,
he played at the University of Michigan.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, basically put the University of Michigan baseball team wasn't. I mean, it was ish, but yeah, when he came through, they were good those years. He was a good player. So
yeah, it made the Reds exciting. It was an exciting time.
Yep, it was good. So yeah, opening day. We got that. That's kind of the look around. You still got 3 more games you can watch tonight if you can watch them on certain channels.
Yeah.
So if you're an old Indians fan, don't root for them because they're the Guardians now.
Cleveland
Um,
Guardians.
which sounds stupid. I mean, still sounds stupid today.
It does. I'm struggling with it, man. It's
I
like bad.
I don't even struggle with it. I just hate them anyway. So I'm a Tigers fan. We've always hated them,
Yep.
but you know, you got the Rockies and Diamondbacks. Pretty much all West Coast
I was
teams.
gonna say West Coast
And
teams.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, you've got the Red Sox are playing out in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
So
Mariners.
10:07 and 10:10 for the other 2 games. So yeah, stay up late, watch some baseball, call off work tomorrow.
I really should.
Yeah, I recommend it.
5 out of 5 would recommend.
5 out of 5 would recommend it.
Are you getting excited
Basketball?
about this solar eclipse?
Solar eclipse? Yeah, I'm super stoked. What does it mean?
It depends on who you believe or who you want to believe. I can tell you all kinds of things.
Yeah, I was talking to our pastor today, and he was saying the last time this happened, it was the day that the Mississippi went backwards. So that would be pretty devastating, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, he said there's also the earthquake that caused that was felt. Well, it was near the Mississippi, obviously, but it was felt all the way in Boston.
Wow.
So, yeah.
My favorite one so far about the solar eclipse thing is that we are going to shift realities again.
Oh yeah, we should definitely do that.
We we apparently we shifted realities back in 2017 when the last one happened.
I don't remember that, but that's maybe because we shifted realities.
Maybe that's why. And so we're going to shift again. So I don't know if we're going to shift back to the previous reality or we're going to a whole new one. I don't know if I need a passport. Like, what do we do?
So I just quickly looked up folklore for eclipses, which I thought might be an interesting. Just let's segue off.
Yeah.
So eclipses are, and this is straight from the Google. Eclipses are attributed to the sun swallowing villains in a number of cultures. We may lose Joe Biden.
Oh no.
Or Hunter. Or Hillary. Let's probably Hillary would kill the eclipse.
Let's keep her.
She's got to stay. But in Norse mythology, blames a giant wolf associated with the trickster Loki.
Oh,
yeah. A dragon does the dark deed in Armenia. A giant frog is the culprit in Vietnam. In India, the sun is devoured by a demon spirit, Rahu. I like these explanations for the eclipse better than the moon gets in the way, and then we have no sun for a momentary instance. I definitely would rather it be like there's a dragon up there eating the moon or the sun. I mean, giant frog.
Yeah. That's good. Let's do the frog thing.
Says solar eclipses cast the light on folklore of the past centuries. This is out of Detroit, the Detroit Daily News. So, This says, luckily, since the demon's head has been separated from his body for a previous transgression, the sun is assured of shining once more instead of just being digested. That's a lot of thought put into it. That he eats it, and then it comes out his neck because his head's been taken off. That's more than you would. That's kind of thinking about it.
That's putting a lot to it.
So in some cultures predating rock music, people would beat on drums and scream and shout to scare away whatever evil entity had blotted out the sun. Members of the Choctaw tribe attributed eclipses to a mischievous squirrel. I told you those squirrels are jerks. Gnawing at the sun.
But that would kind of denote that the squirrel had somewhat access to the sun, meaning the sun was a little bit closer than NASA's 93 million miles away.
Hey, there are people who believe that the sun is not 94 million miles away, or 93, whatever million miles away, and that it's actually in our sphere of influence. I know.
It's crazy.
Just to even like
postulate.
Yeah, just even romanticize about different theories. Just to open your mind about what could be lied to about.
Bridges. Is it too soon? I'm sorry. I apologize.
Too soon. They're
America loves their bridges.
We lost a bridge today. 100-some-year-old bridge that we probably haven't been keeping up on, and that's why it fell anyway.
But did you hear that the federal government is going to write a bill to make sure that it gets rebuilt?
Is it going to be called the Francis Scott Key Bridge again?
I hope.
Or
otherwise,
it
will not
rename it like the Floyd whatever bridge.
Well, it will no longer be my third favorite bridge at that point.
Yeah.
Because Francis Scott Key kind of knows what's up.
The Chippewa reacted to the eclipse by shooting flaming arrows into the sky to rekindle the sun. That actually seems like it could work.
Were they wooden arrows, do you think?
I would think that they didn't have access to graphite arrows at that time. Now, it could
like a composite arrow.
It could have been graphite arrowheads.
Yeah.
With the thing wrapped in it all, could be that. But I would say probably not. Probably wood arrows.
Are we taking any bets on not that we bet or anything, but are we taking any bets on how crazy people are going to be that day of the showing?
I mean, there are already people not too far, because we're not too far from the epicenter. I would probably have to drive 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get to the where the line actually comes, where it's totally eclipsed. I'm not going to, because I don't care that much.
Correct.
I also don't want to be, laser burned to death by some satellite that's actually coming in front of the sun and just burninating everything in the total eclipse area. I mean, could happen. So I'm not going to, but there are people in the perfect eclipse area that are selling 10 by 10 spots to park your car and look up at the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're renting them because they're going to take them back afterwards, but.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Super. I am stoked. I I believe that I don't know. It's just I mean, obviously here it is. Obviously there are spirits and there are things in the spiritual realm that happen, and some of this stuff could or could not be with that. And only God will know if this has some kind of spiritual relevance, or we'll see that it's some kind of spiritual relevance with God. So, I mean, there are prophecies of the end times, and, at the end, it'll be as the days of Noah. And I don't think we're quite to the days of Noah yet, but I don't think we're a ton far off. We fight to kill our own babies. We don't know how to just be men and women. And, we fight to just try to be cars or non binary, or maybe we quack. And so we want to be ducks. And, I think, I think we're not a ton off. I've, as sad as it is, it's not something that I haven't heard of, having relations with demons and things of that nature. So, yeah, not to go too far here, but we just went there. But yeah, so the eclipse, I think it's another thing. It's just a thing, but maybe God has something in it. Maybe he'll just like light up the whatever. Maybe California will fall off the face of the earth. Maybe Seattle will no longer be the Mariners.
Oh boy.
Don't know. So, I mean, I'm definitely not trying to be on the wrong side of God. So, definitely going to,
Yeah.
I'm going to be there on Easter Sunday and the day before on the 7th. So, God's going to know my name, and I'm not going to be like, he's not going to be like, Aaron, I'm smoting you. Ha 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 ha. You're not a righteous man. I'm going to try to be the righteous man. I'm going to try to be like Noah. I haven't heard yet build a boat.
You're going to need a couple more kids.
Yeah, I'll just bring you. You got one.
Yeah. She's around here somewhere.
I don't see her. Where did I put her? Oh man, opening day. Let's go. Let's see. Let's find something else to talk about. Joe Lieberman died.
No way.
Yeah.
Today?
Yesterday or last night.
Huh. I voted for that guy.
How? He was in Connecticut.
Who am I thinking of?
John something. The guy from Ohio that was the I can't think of his last name. That was the Speaker of the House.
John C. Riley. John Jacob Jingle.
I don't remember.
I don't either. Oh well, moving on.
So yeah, Joe Lieberman, Senator. Basically, the reason I know him or anything is that he was basically a senator on the Democratic side, and he went independent. He was one of the first people to say, "Okay, you've gone too far left. I'm not going to follow you guys anymore." And they basically ran against the Democrat and the Republican and won in Connecticut. John Boehner.
That's it.
Is that who you were thinking? All right.
That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, Joe. And what was funny is on our last podcast we talked about Joe Lieberman. Because so don't get on our podcast. Hillary Clinton will kill you. But we talked about the no labels party. I don't know if you've heard about them, Jay Boots. You probably haven't because they didn't have a. I think they just got a candidate for president, but the no labels party had no candidate. But basically, they're just it's a group of people that are trying to reach across party lines, trying to just kind of be U.S. first, country first, and not
Yeah.
care about the actual like labels of I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. And I mean it's a great thought. It's kind of like socialism. Wouldn't that be great if it worked? But I don't think I think as sad as this is, all of these groups are trying too hard to be too big.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last time on the podcast that they, we're going to go get some advertisement and get a presidential candidate. Well, the system isn't set up for 3 or 4 or 8 candidates. The system is set up for 2 candidates. I don't know if you know this, but you have to get a majority of the votes to win the presidency, or it goes to Congress where they vote for the president. So if there's like four candidates and they all get 25%, or they all get 23%, and one guy gets whatever it is, 32%, it'd be like 34% actually, or 31%. I don't know, something like that. That 31% is not the president.
Correct.
Because they didn't get the 200 and 170 some electoral college votes. They would get somewhere around like 65.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't get the presidency. So it would then throw it into so if JFK Jr. gets 25% of the vote and Trump gets 40% and Joe Biden gets 30%, and then somebody else gets 5%, because that's how the math goes. I mean, Santa Claus normally gets like 1% of the vote every year. But so if somebody else gets 5%, the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus ticket, then nobody gets elected president until it goes to Congress and they decide who wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like they've said, oh, nobody's gotten a 20%. Well, that's because it's a 2-party system. Most of the time, that one party steals vote. That one guy that steps out of one of those parties that actually he steals votes. Mm-hmm. I mean, Teddy Roosevelt did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's the only one that's ever gotten over 20% of the vote. Ross Perot almost did it, but he backed out, backed in, ended up getting about 18% of the vote. So, probably hurt George Bush a little bit, but why we have Clinton, had Clinton. He's still alive, but we don't have to claim him anymore.
No, we don't. He's on Long Island.
That's good. But anyhow, Joe Lieberman, he won 4 terms as a senator in Connecticut, as a Democrat, turned independent, and he was 82 years old. He was part of the leadership for the No Labels Party.
Oh, okay.
Long story short.
Yeah.
or long story long. But I guess he fell recently, and yeah, he was also Al Gore's running mate in 2000 in the presidential election.
That's where I know him from. The internet.
The internet guy. He sees you. Walt Disney Company settles their 2-year lawsuit with the board appointed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over a special tax district where Disney is located and the future development of its parks. So they settled that lawsuit. I don't know. I think it's the lawsuit was settled, and it's kind of I don't think it's I think it's kind of a win for Disney. It's not as big a win for Disney as it could be, I guess. It goes back to later judgments, agreements, I guess. When they signed the law, I guess the last second before the group that was kind of running the district around Disney, which were Disney supporters, so that Disney didn't have to claim tax liability over such a vast area. They could claim that a group of non-taxable 501c3 supporters owned the area or ran the area, so the taxes didn't have to go that way. But right before that, they gave all of the rights and everything back to Disney, like an 11th hour deal. And so they sued, everybody sued, everyone was sued, and lawsuits were made. And then I guess the agreement at the end of yesterday was that they would go back to a agreement. I like how they said it was a covenant. Seems very like secret society, but a covenant and agreement that was earlier. Covenant and restrictions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not spooky at all.
No. But so they go back so that they don't have full immunity and abilities, but they still have quite a bit so that they can develop, and Ron DeSantis and Florida can make their money off of Disney. I mean, really,
I know he didn't let them have have their own police anymore. They got rid of. DeSantis said that they had to have
right
the county sheriff come in instead of their own private people.
Right. They can still use their own fire department.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was funny to me is a federal judge dismissed the lawsuit that Disney sued DeSantis and his appointees, claiming that the company's free speech rights were violated by speaking out against the legislation. They were basically speaking out against the "you can't say gay" law, which isn't a "can't say gay" law at all. It's a law that says that you can't teach kids under 5 or under 7 about gender fluidity.
Right.
There in gender fluidity, there isn't a speech about, really. I mean, yes, gay is one of them, but it's not about not saying gay or not being able to, speak about it. It's just the fact that let's not teach our 7-year-olds about sexual conduct anyway. Let's,
right. Let's let kids be kids.
Let them figure things out. They're gonna hear enough on the playground, and let's, when it becomes something that we need to talk about, then let's talk about it, or let's let our parents talk about it. Let's actually be responsible adults and teach our kids something instead of allowing the school to teach everything.
That's
But
absurd.
that does seem dumb. That's right. Never mind. Sorry. Let's not actually be responsible adults. Let's not think for ourselves. Let's not figure this whole thing out. That was
Yeah.
never what our parents gave us, the freedom of speech and the freedom to live in this great country. Um, by fighting world wars, by fighting against powers outside of us, by fighting to make us the greatest country on earth, more profitable, more able to consume goods and services than countries with billions of people. But yeah, let's not worry about any of that. Let's just let the school system that has failed and loses money every year and isn't able to be profitable in any certain way. Let's let them teach our kids.
Yeah.
Those people and this is bad because teachers have an insurmountable job. But a lot of those teachers, they went to school to be teachers.
Right. They chose it.
So they're not teaching from a professional standpoint. They're not teaching you, like my favorite teachers were something else before they became teachers.
Right.
Like one of my favorite teachers, he built a spur on the railroad when he was in high school. He ended up in the army, ended up, and like ended up in the Pentagon, and then he was in Sherwood, Ohio, teaching economics and keyboarding. Yeah, I'm that old. I didn't actually get to learn keyboarding. Well, I did learn keyboarding. I didn't learn typewriting. He was teaching
Yeah.
typewriting and keyboarding that
Oh,
came
gotcha.
after that. And so
Yeah.
we still had typewriting class, which I think went away about my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And we got into keyboarding,
Gotcha.
which I don't think they have to teach anymore. I think pretty much kids just can do it.
They just have their phones.
They don't. Yeah, I don't think they even. Yeah, I don't even think they even use computers anymore.
Nope.
So
It's weird.
it is like I
Weird.
got like 14 screens. I'm like I could use a bigger screen. I got a 32, a 27, and a 55 next to me, and I'm like, I could use a 70-inch and maybe two of those 40s.
Yeah.
But and it's not because I need to see it. It needs to be bigger. It's that I want to put more screens on it.
Yeah.
I got like 15, 20 tabs open right now, and so yeah.
The last time I bought a laptop, it was at a Staples, and I walked up to the counter and I was trying to purchase a laptop, and the guy was looking at me like, "Are you crazy?"
Really?
I'm like, "Yeah, man. I come from the laptop era. I come from
Right.
like, what? Don't judge me."
Right. I do what I want. Oh, I'm running through Rumble here real quick. Just trying to
Like, do you
figure
want
out what's going on here.
to? I'm like, "Do you want to make a sale on the laptop or not? Do you want to make commission or
Right.
what?" Like, no, okay.
Yeah. That's what I was, and it was funny because I was actually buying some new equipment for the church and stuff, and I was talking to the pastor, and he's like, so do we need to get a laptop? And I'm like, honestly, laptops are extremely expensive for the ability to move things. And he's like,
Mhm.
okay, then we getting like a gaming computer, or I was like, honestly, those tiny little minis. I found a mini that's 12th gen, um, 12th gen Intel i7
Mm-hmm.
3.4 gigahertz processor, 12 cores, 24 threads. I mean, yes, the graphics card isn't gaming quality, and for what we need more screens than we need actual like super quality.
Right.
Because we're not running like 4K even. You're running HD basically, if that. And so, it doesn't have to do 600,000 frames a second. It just has to do like 30 or
Mm-hmm.
60 at the best. And you know, found one a couple of those, $400, and I'm like, here you go. I mean, he was looking at desktops that were like $2,200 and laptops that were like 1,900 $1,900, and I'm like, yeah, that would be great, but in what we need, we can save some money and not, we don't need that.
Right.
But
There
yeah,
might be a day.
computer,
There might be a day where we get to that higher end,
oh,
high end. But
right. But yeah, so I and like you said, honestly, nobody you don't buy laptops and computers as much as you used to. And really, laptops and computers, I mean, the box is literally like this big.
yeah,
It's like 6 inches by 5 inches,
yeah,
and it has all of the little doohickeys on it, and you just plug in a little uh, base unit that has more plugins and stuff, and you do your thing. So,
I thought for a while there I was going to have a machine for every piece of software because it's like I have this machine at
oh,
church that
oh
that runs
freaking
one
cat!
software. I have
Right.
this machine that does one software. I have this that does this. It's just one software.
Well, that's I had a MacBook 2011 MacBook Pro, and it got to the point where like to do a graphic, I had to do the graphic, and then
Yeah.
I had to shut down that save the graphic, shut down that program, and go over here to my video program,
Right.
lift that, pull that up, and put the graphic in, let it load for a little bit, and then shut that down and go find the music that I wanted to put behind it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
like today I was running like Photoshop and Illustrator, and I had the video, had Final Cut Pro up, and yeah, it's mind-boggling what they can what some of these computers can
Right.
get done
Yeah.
while it's doing everything else anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yep. I just need them to start making coffee and we'll be good.
yeah, they can. And you Google Home,
Yeah.
get your coffee maker set up to Google Home, and you can make coffee with it.
Yeah.
So,
Doesn't
uh, so federal courts appeals court extends hold on Texas's law allowing state police to arrest and prosecute migrants. And then there was this. I'm not sure how this isn't front page news. At least 4 killed, 5 others injured after a man goes on a stabbing spree in Rockford, Illinois. This this is like a mass stabbing. And
Yeah.
surrounding area suspected alive and in custody. Victims range between 15 and 63. This guy had no care. He just went around stabbing people. It's a mass stabbing, and we're not out there proselytizing the restrictions on knives. We're not out there, making sure that scary tactical knives are not on the streets. We're not running, the the blade length. We're not looking to make the blade length shorter. We're not, why aren't we restricting knives? No words.
I'll wait.
You're I mean, yeah.
I love a good knife.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want them to restrict the blade length and anything on our knives, but still, why aren't we making this a political event? Because you got to
Because
think, if you're out there knife stabbing people, like
Mhm. Which often I
you
am.
you have very you have very low efficacy, and you don't care about human life. You could say when you pull the trigger of a gun, you're separate from the person who's being shot. You could be 20 feet away. You could be 50 feet away. You could be 1,000 yards away. Um, you could be a U.S. Navy sniper, and you could be a mile away. But with a knife, there's no distance. You're like right there.
Yeah, point blank.
Yeah, it's so
It's a game of inches.
literally, and that's what she said. Oh man. So let's get into something a little less controversial. A pungent stinknet plant in Arizona forces idyllic picnic area to shut down for a month.
A plant that's so smelly that you can't go to a public park.
Right.
Okay. I don't
Stink
like it.
the stinknet might be a pretty yellow blossom, but smells like turpentine.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
And it can cause serious breathing problems as well as severe skin
Oh.
rash.
Oh.
So there's
Well,
that.
I don't like the breathing problem part, but I'll take a nice skin rash.
I don't like the not being able to breathe because oxygen is kind of my thing, but skin rashes are okay.
Yeah. Just because it's too soon from the whole COVID thing, I don't want to do the breathing thing. So
I don't want to, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that did to my lungs, so just going to yeah,
yeah, I'll just take
we're
the
just gonna
mild
stay
skin
away
rash.
from that. Uh, Mike Tyson hopes to deliver a knockout blow with cannabis
Oh, I
edible
cannot wait.
ears.
I can't wait.
Edible ears.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it candy or chocolate?
cannabis.
Yeah, but
I
did
don't know
they put the?
what. Yeah, I don't
Is it
know
like a
whether it's
chocolate
like.
or a gummy?
Man, now I gotta look it up. Shape of nibbled ears. Bizarre product is a nod to the Tyson's infamous bit off part of the ear. His opponent, Vander Holyfield. If you didn't know that, just stop listening now. It is a sour apple punch and watermelon.
Okay.
So I would say it's gummy. Oh, and they also have black eye berry. I like that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get some black eye berry.
Yeah. I hope Mike Tyson beats the crap out of Jake Paul.
That's such a like it's such a hard
I'm
one
upset.
to call because on one side you've got Jake Paul who's like 30 years old and actually in fighting age in his prime and has been fighting and has done okay. I can't say that he's a completely trash boxer. He's won a few fights. He's beat a few old guys. But it would be sweet, so sweet to see a 50-year-old Mike Tyson just go out there, do a little dance, and then just pow, he's out.
Because of all the rules that are going into this fight, they're encouraging Mike not to knock him out in the first round. So
I haven't seen the rules yet.
It's set up
to
where the longer he goes, the more money he will make. And this is just for Mike Tyson.
So they're basically throwing the fight with the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Tyson signed the contract, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
I just hope and I pray to God that Tyson doesn't care about the money and just knocks him out in the first round.
Accidentally. That would be the greatest.
He doesn't need the money.
He just goes boom, boom, and then just smashes him in the face the one time, and he's out, and he's like, and you see it on his face that he's like, oh.
Yeah. Mike Tyson has only ever been compared to who?
I don't know. He's Mike Tyson.
He's Mike Tyson. He's been compared to Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, but Mike Tyson, you would almost say, Muhammad Ali was that, like, he was a cocky showboat. Sure. And yes, he always had that knockout power.
Sure.
But like, in my remembrance of Mike Tyson was this guy that you just always knew had that 40-pound hand that was coming for your face.
Yeah.
And
it's still coming.
Yeah. And you were going down. Like, if he hit you, you were going down.
Jake Paul set it up to be a total whiny butt millennial. He set up the contract so that he could exhibit his total millennial whiny status. And I hope Tyson just goes in there and says, "I don't care about your millions. I'm just going to knock you out."
Have you seen the comments from Tyson? Tyson said he goes, "I didn't do this for the money."
Yeah.
He goes, "I did this to retire him."
Yeah.
Send him to the UFC with his brother, or the WWE with his brother.
That's fine. I can't stand his brother either. They can both go.
He goes, "I did this to knock him out. It's not about the money. It's not about anything about the fame. It is about knocking him out."
I've never wanted to subscribe to Netflix more. Like,
right? Yeah. I'll just have to log into somebody else's Netflix account for the night.
I mean, they're not even the same person. Like the physicality of these two people, and I'm not even trying to take anything away from Jake Paul as far as him trying to be a professional at something, a professional sport something, but at the same time, we're talking about Mike Tyson.
Right.
Dude, my 72-year-old mother knew who I was talking about when I said Mike Tyson.
Right.
My 72-year-old Christian mother who doesn't turn on the TV in 40 years. She doesn't watch. Well, she doesn't keep up to date on anything
to come out of the speakers.
Well, sure. And I understand that, but she doesn't. She knows who Mike Tyson is,
right?
I mean, that should say something.
I mean, you would have to say, I don't know of anybody since. I can't say it too bigly because I'm not a full-on boxing fan, but beyond Mike Tyson, the only one that comes to mind that may get close is like Oscar De La Hoya was big. Floyd Mayweather was kind of big, but he protected his career so much. You almost, he just, to me, he doesn't hit the level of that Mike Tyson did. Mike Tyson was just that giant personality that he came out and just said he was going to knock you out. And in the first round, he took a fist to the face and went down. He would do that little bam right to the face.
Mike Tyson changed the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
Jake Paul ain't and doing anything like that.
No. I mean, I don't think he's as bad for boxing as everyone says he is,
Sure,
because he
that's
is
fair.
definitely bringing some notoriety back to boxing. I
That's
mean, when
fair.
was the last time you heard of a boxing fight that you were just like, "Oh, I gotta go see that"?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Like, I mean, the Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor fight. Before that, what? Anything that Floyd Mayweather did, maybe the Manny Pacquiao, maybe was
Right.
okay, but
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I just never thought it rose to the level the Canelo Alvarez fights with Manny Pacquiao. It just didn't seem like it raised. It wasn't. I don't know.
And those are two solid. Those are two solid.
Oh yeah,
dudes, right?
I mean, they're great boxers.
Great boxers.
Yeah, it just didn't. Wasn't that fight that you're like, huh? I wonder who's gonna win that, because
Right.
it was basically the same boxer fighting himself, and you're
Right.
like, if one wins, I don't care. One of those two
Right.
guys could win.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's all I have to say.
In other news, Oscar De La Hoya was on the Hell's Kitchen
Oh, how'd he do?
as the American Dream. No, he was just one of the guys that came out of the thing saying, "I got my American Dream when I won blah 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 championships and defended my title so many times and stuff."
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because this whole season is about American Dreams. We're not sponsored by Hell's Kitchen, but being a chef.
For sure.
Yeah, I go to the show to feel at home with the whole yelling and fire thing.
Yeah.
So
that works for you.
yeah, yeah, it does. It just kind of brings me a little peace.
Yeah. You deserve that piece.
So, yeah. Man charged after. There's a man charged after 26 snakes were found in his vehicle.
Charged with snake possession?
Snake possession? I don't know. Yeah, it was animal cruelty. 26 counts of animal cruelty after more than a dozen dead snakes were found in his car.
Oh, dead snakes, gotcha.
Yeah. There were 13 alive, 13 dead. This sounds like a dream that maybe Nebuchadnezzar had, or
Right.
maybe it was Joseph. Somebody had.
One of those pharaohs.
13 snakes devouring the other 13 snakes, or
Right.
yeah.
One of those kings of the past.
There was a man charged with smuggling, not snuggling, protected turtles that were found stuffed inside his socks.
Hey, I would be charged with snuggling turtles.
Snuggling. Yeah, definitely snuggling. Snuggle those turtles to death for all I care.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Yeah. But they did say that people were kissing their turtles too much and got some kind of skin rash. That was in another podcast about a year ago.
Yeah, you can't kiss turtles. Everyone knows this.
Yeah. So, I think they were given E. coli or something like that. The turtles that you hate to love and love to hate. So, Jay Boots, what'd you learn tonight?
I learned we had a good opening day.
Good opening day, yeah. Reds.
And I learned that London bridges also be falling down.
Baltimore bridges falling
Baltimore
down.
bridges be falling down.
Doesn't quite have the same ring, but I think it works.
Maybe they'll name the bridge the Ray Lewis Bridge.
Maybe because he beat the rap of murder.
Yep.
So this bridge beat to death.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Everybody gets a second chance.
Including Ray Lewis.
Unless you're Republican.
Then you're just wrong.
then you're a racist. So,
automatically. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, with that, if you still have any shred of liking us, then, follow, subscribe, like, share, do all those things. Send us out to all of your friends and family. Hit up our merch for some exciting, cool shirts. We got a Fat Bear shirt that looks like Winnie the Pooh with an angry face.
It's really sweet.
It's kind of cool. We still got the Angry Attack Squirrel shirt. I like to wear that shirt from time to time.
For sure.
And all kinds of stuff. There's subscriptions. Obviously, the free way is to follow, like, and share. And, get on and do that. And with all that said, remember to follow, like, and share the Why I'm Angry podcast across all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast. The Why I'm Angry podcast ends now.